With a track record dating all the way back to 1937 as well as having over 120 movies produced, Disney has one of the largest cinematic libraries in history. On top of that, they also love to reference their other projects in every movie that they produce. Therefore, it comes as no surprise that Disney movies are chock full of Easter eggs. In this video, we're going to go over some of our favorites. So without further ado, let's dive right in. First up, Rapunzel in Frozen. At the beginning of the film, Arendelle's gates have been closed for so long that when they finally reopen for Elsa's coronation day, everyone wants to take a peek inside, including, it looks like, Rapunzel. You can spot her with her short hairdo walking into the castle alongside Flynn Rider for a split second when Anna sings for the first time in forever. Just another addition to the theory that all Disney movies are connected together in one way or another, but that's a video for another day. Next, Stitch in Big Hero 6 and Treasure Island. If you were to guess which character shows up the most in Easter egg cameos, who would you pick? It just might be Stitch from Lilo and Stitch. That mischievous little alien always finds ways to hide everywhere. For example, in Big Hero 6, you can spot a photo of Mochi, Hero's cat, wearing a Stitch costume. It's in a gallery wall of photographs on Hero's staircase. Besides Mochi having the best cat name, it looks like he also has the best hat. Stitch also makes a cameo appearance in Treasure Island. This time, however, he's hanging out on a shelf in the bedroom of young Jim Hawkins in Treasure Planet. It's probably not how Robert Louis Stevenson imagined Hawkins' childhood room to be, but you can't deny it's definitely cuter this way. Next, I Can Do This All Day. You didn't expect every entry to just be from the animated Disney titles, now did you? Live-action series deserve some love too, especially for one as massive as Marvel's The Avengers series. In both Captain America Civil War and Avengers Endgame, a quote may sound familiar to you from your multiple rewatches of Captain America The First Avenger, when Steve and Tony are beating each other up during their final confrontation in Civil War, and also when Captain America's alternate universe version faces off against the original Cap, mistaking him for Loki. What appears to just be a snarky provocation has a much deeper meaning behind it. The line will stand out to fans of Captain America as it is the same line he says back in Brooklyn as a scrawny kid fighting a group of bullies behind the movie theater. Now, The Little Mermaid and Aladdin in Moana. When Maui sings his song You're Welcome in Moana, a school of fish swims across the scene. And just who is part of that world? It's Flounder from Little Mermaid. However, The Little Mermaid isn't the only other Disney movie that gets a shout out in Moana. In Tamatoa's Very Shiny Treasure Collection, sharp-eyed viewers can spot Aladdin's lamp amongst the other treasures. Next, Jack Skellington and the Flying Carpet in Princess and the Frog. When the Shadow Man says he has friends on the other side in Princess and the Frog, could he be talking about Halloween Town? Because one of the shadows he summons sure looks a lot like Jack Skellington from The Nightmare Before Christmas. On the other hand, right before the title comes up in The Princess and the Frog, we see a quotidian street scene with people walking to work, taking cars, and shaking the dust out of a carpet. Wait a minute, that carpet with the tassels and the blue and purple design looks awfully familiar. You'd be right to think so, because indeed it is the magic carpet from Aladdin. How it managed to gain sentience and make its way to the post-apocalyptic land of Aladdin is anyone's guess though. And next on the list is Aunt Cass in Ralph Breaks the Internet. Cass is the aunt of Hero, the main character in Big Hero 6. She was also a huge crush for many of the people who watched the movie. If you were lucky enough to miss the internet news, she was even turned into a meme after so many people revealed they had the hots for her character. Apparently, the filmmakers behind Ralph Breaks the Internet caught wind of this as she appears on the cover of a pop-up ad that says, "Sassy housewives want to meet you today." Looks like Disney knows what their audiences are looking for. Up next, Elsa and Anna in Zootopia. After the release of Frozen, it seemed that little girls all over the world wanted to dress up like the movie's princesses, even in the animal-filled city of Zootopia. When Judy Hopps takes a train through all the different districts of the city, she passes through Tundra Town and sees two little elephants that are dressed like Anna and Elsa. Looks like not even animals are immune to frozen fever. And then Pinocchio and other Disney princesses in Tangled. In Tangled, you can meet a lot of unsavory characters at the Snuggly Duckling pub, including, it seems, Pinocchio. During the big I Have a Dream musical performance, he can be seen chilling on a perch high above the action. You can only see him when one of the other patrons flies around the room like Cupid. Rapunzel must have seen the other Disney princess movies since she has painted homages to them on the posts in the staircase in her tower. There's an apple for Snow White, a glass slipper for Cinderella, a rose for Belle, and a seashell for Ariel. She also has a spinning wheel in there too, as a reference to Aurora. Up next, a familiar vlogger. The fight sequence on the bus in Shang-Chi is easily considered one of the best in the MCU. Fans were quick to point out the similarities with the hit film Speed, as Katie takes over as the driver, and there were also nods to classic Jackie Chan fights, such as when Shang uses his jacket to fight an opponent. However, there's also a familiar MCU face in this scene, a vlogger known as Clev, who is live streaming framing the confrontation. He's the same person who saw Spider-Man in New York and told him to do a flip in Spider-Man Homecoming. Taking a closer look at the screen when he's streaming will also show that the busboy nickname given to Shang-Chi is being used by one of the commenters. Now the hidden Mickeys in the Emperor's New Groove. The hidden Mickeys are a category of Easter eggs all their own. Essentially, animators love hiding the classic Mickey head shape, a silhouette composed of 3 circles, into movies, TV shows, and even the rides at Disney World. In an overhead shot from the Emperor's New Groove, you can see a bunch of hidden Mickeys made out of green vegetables surrounding Kuzco as he lounges around in the throne room. Tag him and bag him, people. Let's try to find more of these hidden Mickeys some other time. Up next, Scar in Hercules. In the myths, one of Hercules' famed 12 laborers was his slaying of the Nemean lion. In the movie, it looks like he slew Scar, the villain from The Lion King. Just one look at the scar under this lion skin's eye will confirm your suspicions. Scar is even more obvious when Hercules throws the skin to the ground, and you can see that even his eyes are the same color as the lion's. A fitting end, considering Zazu from The Lion King had once joked that he'd look good as a throw rug. And then we have the Spider-Man pointing meme. We may have got a nod to this famous meme in the end credits of Into the Spider-Verse, but it once again makes a return in Spider-Man No Way Home as a funny little callback. Ned asks for Peter while he assembles an experiment to help fix the villains, leading to all 3 Peter Parkers pointing at themselves and then to each other while wondering which Peter Ned is looking for. Talk about seizing the opportunity. It sure was a fun little addition to break the tension leading up to the final showdown. Up next, Sebastian and Mickey Mouse in Aladdin. Life is Aladdin's restaurant, the genie explains, and the genie is the maitre d'. But when the genie goes through a menu of royal options for Aladdin's new princely identity, he ends up getting pinched by a crab, namely Sebastian from The Little Mermaid. Another Easter egg that is impossible to see without the use of slow motion at the very end of Aladdin, when Raja gets transformed back into his tiger form. If you watch his metamorphosis frame by frame, there's one moment where his head is shaped like Mickey Mouse. How anyone figured this out in the first place is beyond us. Finally, we have managed to get confirmation that Matt Murdock exists in the MCU, making a grand cameo from Netflix's original series Daredevil. Best known as the Man Without Fear, shows up in lawyer form, helping Peter out with legal issues in Spider-Man No Way Home. He also swiftly catches a brick flying through the living room window, provoking Peter to ask him how he did it. And what does it say? That he's just a really good lawyer. Yeah, sure, man, you've got us convinced. That's a wrap for this video. What are some of your favorite Easter eggs in any Disney film or series? Let us know in the comments below. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. See you in the next one.